Hi friends, I'm so excited to be with you today and to talk about a couple more of our resurrection eggs. Easter is one of my most favorite times of the year, and even though we don't get to all be together, we still get to celebrate all the cool things that happened this week. So let's go ahead and get started. So our first egg here is an orange egg. What do we think we got inside? Let's take a look. Ooh. We have a crown of thorns. Do we see it? A crown of thorns. Isn't that interesting? So remember when Miss Kelly talked about how the soldiers whipped Jesus? Well, they also took a bunch of thorns and they made a crown to make fun of him because Jesus said that he was the king of the Jews and that he was the son of God. So they made fun of him by making him this crown of thorns. And when they put this crown on him and pushed it down, it really, really hurt his head. As I'm sure a bunch of you have gotten a thorn in your finger. Maybe you were walking through the woods and you got a thorn maybe on your shirt or something. They're pokey, they hurt. So when Jesus had a bunch of these on his head, oh, it must have hurt so badly. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna read the verse in our Bible that talks about that. So let me open up here. It's the book of Matthew. Matthew is one of the Gospels, if we remember. And we're gonna go to Matthew 27. And then we're going to read verses 27 to 31. Then the governor's soldiers took Jesus into the governor's residence and gathered the whole company around him. They stripped him and dressed him in a scarlet robe. They twisted together a crown of thorns, put it on his head, and placed a staff in his right hand. And they knelt down before him and mocked him. "Hail, King of the Jews!" Then they spat on him, took the staff, and hit him on the head. So even though all these things happened to Jesus, why did he do them? He did them because he loved us so much that he was willing to go through whatever it took so that we would be able to live freely and not have to die for our sins. He took all of the sin on him. So we have another egg we want to look at. Green. Green is my favorite color ever. It reminds me of plants. I love plants. So let's open up this egg. Let's see what's inside. Ooh, what is this? We know what this is. It's a cross. We love the cross. But what is this cross made of? Can anybody tell? This cross is made of nails. And if you look super close, it's made out of 3 nails. So when Jesus, after he had the crown put on him and he was whipped, the soldiers took him up. They took him up to a hill, and where they had the cross, they hung him on the cross by putting the nails in his hands and his feet. Doesn't that sound terrible? But that's what Jesus was willing to do because he loved us so, so much. So before I talk about that anymore, I want to read again from my Bible what the Bible has to say about the cross. So we're going to be in the book of John this time. That's another gospel. And we're going to be in chapter 19. And we're going to read verses 16. Then he handed him over to be crucified. Then they took Jesus away, carrying the cross by himself. He went out to a place that was called the place of the skull, which in Aramaic is called Golgotha. There they crucified him and put 2 others on his side, with Jesus in the middle. So the cross, even though the cross is super cool, something really kind of sad for a minute happened on the cross. The cross is where Jesus died. And thankfully, because it's Easter, that's not the end of the story. So it's sad for a minute, but we have great things coming in a few days. So I hope everyone is doing super well. I can't wait to see you all and give hugs and high fives and just catch up. So bye everybody, happy Easter.